Welcome to Find You Fridays. Lorene is me, and we are here to do readings and sharing and just hang out and have a good time together. Because let's face it, this world can be a bit wacky sometimes, and it's nice to have a bit of a chill out Friday night. I don't know about you guys, but this is one of my highlights of my week, and I am so grateful to be here with you. Hi, Holly. To answer your question, how have I been? I was very grateful for the 3-hour sleep in this morning. It's been an incredibly long week. I've had a couple of very early starts, a 7:30 and a 7 o'clock start, and not finishing till 5:30 in the evening time. So, and then it's like an hour to an hour and a half drive home, depending on where I was. And it's been a long week, a long week. So I am very, very happy to be here. I have had an entire day of just pottering around and just catching up on a few things at home and just chilling out, basically. So it's been lovely. I feel happy and refreshed, and like things are just chugging along nicely, and I'm just really, really, really happy to be here. How have you been, Holly? How have you been? What have we got coming up this week? The 27th is today. Oh, yes. Ooh, we're going to start into a new month. Oh, goodness. Ooh, and next Friday is going to be a new moon. Oh, that's excellent. That makes me very, very happy. New moons always sort of boost me with energy. I really don't know why. It just is what it is. And it's a part of how I love to flow with energy, apparently. And the full moons drain a little bit. They make me feel a little bit sluggish, make me want to go a bit slower. Whereas a new moon is like, oh, Holly, of course I'll ask you. I'll ask everybody if you know how they are and what they're doing. So, I just remembered that I've got a new set of cards. Are you ready to come and play on the show? Maybe. Let me go and grab them. So while I go grab them, so you guys can remember, I do these things. Did you remember that I do online sessions? Oh dear. So I was very kindly and lovingly gifted a set of Ina Segal cards this week, and I was just absolutely blown away. I was quite happy to pay a little for them because they are secondhand and all, but the beautiful, beautiful man was like, no, not for you. It's like, your body is no good here. No, he didn't say that. But so I now have the next one, which is the Ina Segal Mystical Healing cards. So with any luck, they will come out to play tonight. I always allow the cards to choose, but they've been sitting on the selenite disc for the last 24 hours. And so they're all nice and cleansed. And they've also been Palo Santo today. So like the rest of the house was. So again, it's one of those pottering things I did today. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they actually ask to come out to play tonight. So yeah, hi Melinda. Hi, lovely. How's your day been? How has your day been? It's been a beautiful day. So glad I have Fridays off because, do you know, I reckon if I was to start taking notice of the weather, I reckon that Fridays are probably a really, really common day for us up here in Mount Barker to have a lovely day. And then the weekend, not so much. So I don't know what happens. But so often, especially at this time of the year, the Saturdays and Sundays, we end up with funky weather. But Fridays are just beautiful, beautiful. So, I get the gift of the nice sunny days. Makes it tricky to do stuff in the backyard, though, I have to say. Yes, I know. I'm looking forward to using them. So hopefully they ask to come out and play. All right. So, apparently this is our weekly reading cards. Interesting. We've got Ina's other pack that I've had for a long, long, long time. Oop. Her colour cards are going to come out for the weekly reading. Hi, Ange. So nice to have you playing. Melinda says it's been relaxing and I now have dates for my training for my new job next week. Woohoo! That's exciting stuff. Congratulations on the new job. That is so freaking exciting. And I'm just thrilled for you. Absolutely thrilled for you. And I don't really remember a lot of the readings that I do, but yours specifically, I do recall that there was stuff that was coming up around you in October. So I'm like, just absolutely incredible that that particular message was very clear from your team. It's like, wow, how cool is that? October. Big things are changing for you for October. So that is just brilliant. And I absolutely love that for you. And people who pay a little donation always get priority. And the freebies come in the form of doing my poetry book later on in the show. So, and I already have people who have paid, so because that's smart. They pay before the show even starts. So that's the sort of the way that we roll here and Find You Fridays. So let us have a look at our reading. Let's get these cards going for this weekly reading from the 28th of September through to the, trying to skip a month, 4th of October. Let's have a look at these energies and see what is going to work well for the collective coming through that shadow period on the 3rd, well, the new moon on the 3rd. So we've got a week of shadow period. Wow, before and after. So that's pretty cool. We sort of start leading up to it over the weekend, and then Tuesday, Wednesday is like full shadow period. So yay! I'm so excited. Oh, dearie me. Woo! We've got jumpers this evening. And 2 of them. That one, yes, and that one, yes. Okay. They're very excited. I think that they're so happy to have another member of the family back. So I now have the Secret Language of Your Soul cards. I have the Secret Language of Color cards, which is Venus a Girl. As we know, we have the Heal Yourself cards. Anybody would think I was a bit of a fangirl for Venus a Girl. I think I just might be. And then, of course, the newest ones is the Mystical Healing ones. So how is it just that they just come? You know, it's funny because a lot of people have core creators that they will tend to hover towards. It's like there might be a Doreen Virtue fan, or some of the others. Doreen Virtue just popped into my mind, so that'll be that one. Or because that's another one I've got of hers, but I don't have. I've got a couple of hers. I can't think of the other ones that people have, but yeah, I wonder, who are your favorite creators for oracle cards or tarot reading cards or things like that? I'd love to know, and let me know why you like them so much. I love Ina's work. I've always loved Ina's work, right from, The Secret Language of Your Body book back many, many years ago. Given my age now, gosh, it's nearly 20 years ago now that I first was introduced to Ina Segal through her book, The Secret Language of Your Body. And I'm just so thrilled that I've been able to sort of gather her cards to me over the years. And they are beautiful and often very on point. The color cards, however, so far in my experience, are the most softest, gentlest ones. So they're a really nice introduction into not only working with colors, but also learning how to work with the oracle cards. I know when I first started doing card reading, the color cards were some of the first that I got. It was that and this one here, which is the Angel Card Reading Kit from Doreen Virtue. Those were my first two particular decks, and they were just really gentle, and it was nice. And I also then leaned into learning how color affects the body and the mind and how it can influence your day. And along with that came a little bit of the numbers thing as well. And what book was that? I think it was called Color Your Life or something like that. And that was something that I sort of worked with for a wee while, for about a year. And I had little pendants made up with all the different colors so that I could, even if I was wearing a work uniform, I would still be able to wear the color on me in some way, shape, or form. If I didn't have that color in underwear, for example, then I could still wear the little pendant, and that could still be on me and help me through my day, my personalized color day. All right, so let us have a look at this reading for this next week. Okay, and I'm just curious because I was just talking to somebody who is definitely not a woo-woo person. They're very much a normie. And they were saying how the last couple of weeks for them has been like really wackadoodle, like just things just haven't been sort of flowing as well, or it's like just the thing for them, things just seemed a bit off. And for Alex and I, we've both noticed over the last couple of weeks, the energies have just been so weird. And there was a moment during the week where it almost seemed like I was wearing a cloak of invisibility because people just didn't see me, didn't acknowledge me. It was the weirdest thing ever. And I was, at work, I was driving my car, and it's so unusual to have people just be just like, I just completely didn't exist. And along with, being tired, etc., from working a lot, but it was just the energies around everything was just odd, this week. So I'd love to know, have you guys felt the same the last couple of weeks? I don't know what's going on. I don't know if there's been massive solar flares, if it's retrogrades or what, but it's been a bloody weird couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward to, fingers crossed, things settling down. However, so if I recall, given that the energies have been a bit strange this week, I wonder if some of us have been, dare I say it, vibing at a really different rate this week. Because if you recall, last week's weekly reading, it was talking about a lot of intuitive, like, awareness, awakenings. Like, you're going to get a lot of symbols. I know I got a lot of number stuff happening this week. And messages saying, trust your intuition. This is a message to you saying, yes, your intuition is absolutely spot on. Keep going. We're sending you lots of love and that sort of thing. Hi, Judy. And I wonder, because I know that when, so we'll go back 3-ish years ago, when people were vibing very, very, very low because of what was happening in the world, my vibe was still very, very high. And I would walk through the supermarket and people literally would not even see me. And I would have to be very mindful of everybody else and giving them space, because they would just walk straight through and into me. And next thing you know, it's like, oh, shit. Especially at that time when everybody was supposed to be giving each other 1.5 meters distance. It was a very bizarre thing. So I'm not unfamiliar with vibing or having that resonance of being much higher than other people. But this week seemed to just really be in there, So let us have a look. So, Melinda, I quite often get number synchronicities and very similar Facebook posts. Yeah, I had an awesome moment this week, though. In the morning, I was driving to work and I thought to myself, oh, gosh, I really wish I could catch up with my friend for a swap, from the energy healing swap. And then by the time I got to my destination, I completely forgot to message her. And within 2 hours, she messaged me to say, hey, are you free this day for a swap? And I'm like, yes, thank you. That sort of stuff. And funnily enough, I'm pretty sure that actually happened the same day that I was invisible to the people at work. So, yeah, interesting. Let us have a look. So, for this week coming of the 28th of September through to the 4th of October, the first card that we have coming out is Overcome Your Challenges. So, we've got Plum. So, that tells me that there's going to be some moments probably earlier on in this 7-day period, so maybe over the weekend and maybe into Monday, where things are just going to be a little bit crunchy. Maybe you've had something that you've been trying to work through or work out, and it's pushing your boundaries a little bit. And these challenges can also be stuff around, I'm feeling my implant band going off. So I'm suspecting there's going to be some moments over the first little part of the week, the first 3 to 4 days, where maybe you're going to be challenged on some older belief systems and things that you've held as being very true for you, and you're starting to shift a little bit on those things. And there's going to be some moments in your world, like there might be a podcast, or it might be something that pops up on Facebook or YouTube or whatever, that makes you go and question some of those deep-held beliefs or conclusions that you have created for yourself around things. So that's something that I'm getting is going to pop up with that one. We've got Turquoise, which is about awaken your empathy. So this one rolls on really nicely from that first one, in that when we are shifting and changing those thought processes, belief systems, decisions, or conclusions that we have made, particularly around our parental figures and what they chose to do, how they interacted with us or didn't interact with us, when we start awakening our empathy, some real beautiful magic happens and compassion starts really ramping up. And it's like this whole beautiful space of forgiveness and peace comes through, and it's lightens the heart so much. And this is just a nice little nudge to say, look, as these challenges are coming up, try to be a little bit more empathetic as to why perhaps the other people could be choosing what they're choosing. And that can happen from a space of like to talk about it, not in too much depth, but I did actually share it on my Facebook page. So those of you who have come through from Facebook land, you can just scroll down a little bit in my personal feed and you'll see that there is a reel there, and it is from an interview with Alec de Boudin and Boudon, sorry, Elaine de Boudon, and the full podcast link is actually in the comments. But that particular one was mind-blowing for me and really helped me shift some stuff this week around my relationships and why I've chosen them the way I have. So, and it's coming from a space of familiarity. And I'll leave it there. If you're interested in that, and sort of, if you're like me and you like knowing how people think, and particularly what makes you choose the things that you've chosen from a more, you know, theological and theoretical and also like a psychological point of view, that's a brilliant one to have a listen to. The next card that we've got for this week is Mauve, which is Enjoy Clear Hearing. So when we say enjoy clear hearing, you may have had a little bit of a upgrade in the last couple of weeks that may have been part of your wonky energy. If we recall, going back a couple of months ago now, I was certainly having some massive upgrades through the third eye through to my hearing. And that included feeling things blocking up and unblocking and getting crunchy ears and all sorts of fun things happening for a few weeks. About 6 weeks in total was me. So if you've been having a bit of that happening over the last few weeks, then I'm guessing we're going to end up with some nice clear hearing over this week to come. So enjoy that. And along with that, I'm also being told you may hear more messages from the other side. You may see more things. You may see spirit a little bit more. You might be feeling them around you a bit more. So the hearing is kind of like an interesting way of saying hi from the other side. We've got Lemon, which is Access Innovative Thinking. So I love this card. I absolutely love it. Hi, Erin. Because it's a reminder to us that when we feel a little bit stuck, maybe if you're a writer or a creator and you've got a little bit of a creative block, have a look at something that is going to help you move through that and access those innovative things. Now, one of the things that you can do that I'm just being told right now is when you go to bed at night, put up a little request. We've seen this in some of the cards that come through. I think it was in the Heal Yourself Oracle, where it talks about using one of the cards there and placing it over a glass of water. So what I would suggest to you, if you're feeling a little bit blocked or you've got a problem that you are struggling to see the solution to, get that glass of water. I'll show you. Get that glass of water and hold it. And imagine that there is lemon energy, like as in the color lemon, flowing from your brain down through your heart, and then up through to your arms and down your fingers, surrounding the glass, and then infuse the water with your request for the solution to your problem, to whatever thing that you're trying to work through or work out or whatever. Just infuse that into the water, and then ask for that solution to be crystal clear to you in the morning. So it's basically giving the universe, your team, that chance for however long you're asleep, to work its magic into the water. And you can also ask for it to come through in your sleep state, and that you will be able to recall it with 100% clarity in the morning. And then in the morning, you wake up, you think about that solution, and you drink some of the water, and then just start writing down whatever comes to your mind. And I can almost guarantee your solution will be right there. Because you're giving the solution a place to land. And it's somewhere that is not going to be manipulated by your judgments as such. Sometimes when we're working from our ego and our thinky, stinky mind, our ego can only access the information of experiences that we've already had. It can't always access the innovative thinking, the thinking outside the box as well, because we haven't experienced that yet. So that's where doing it like that and allowing you to then ingest the solution, it could just work for you. The next card we have for this week to come is Emerald, which is calm your mind, body, and soul. So I find that really fascinating because we will still be in new moon energy by the time the end of the week comes round. So if you find that the new moon energy gives you a lot of ramped up energy, I would highly suggest you give yourself physical ways to release that energy. That's why I love it when the new moon comes round, when it's when I'm still at work, because I can then move through my tasks really, really quickly, and it's physically letting that energy go through. If you have not got a particularly physical job, I would highly recommend sort of Thursday, Friday especially, to make sure you get out either in the morning or in the evening, go for a walk, go do some stuff around the house, go do something in the garden, go have some sexy times. I don't care what, but use that energy, because the thing is we end up in a place, it's called tumescence. And this is where it's like that massive building of energies. And if you don't use it up, it can make you quite cranky, and it can make you become a little bit toxic. It's kind of like, with the little kids, they get tumescence all the bloody time. I used to see it a lot with the kids that when I was a nanny, and they would finish school, especially the kids who are more on the spectrum, so the neurospicy kids, and they would finish school and they would just have so much energy, so much tumescence, that they really, really needed to get it out. And if we didn't get it out, if we didn't go to the park and play immediately after school, it was so hard to get them to settle at home. And one of the things that happened was their primary school, there's some kids that I was nannying for, and their school changed the rules that kids weren't allowed to play on their playground after the school bell. And it was the worst thing ever for these kids, because they absolutely just needed like between 5 and 10 minutes on the playground before they hopped in the car. And if they didn't have that time, they would start basically picking my car apart, literally playing with the door handles and pulling on things and stuff, because they just had so much pent up energy. And so just be aware that you might have this too. And not that you're necessarily neurospicy, but that you might just have this buildup of energy, this tumescence going on in your body that you have to let it go because it's the new moon happening. It's like, whoa. So I highly recommend take notice of how your body responds to the new moons and the full moons. I know it's really helped me to adjust how I am and not judge myself when I slow down for a full moon, and to make the most of that energy when I am in a new moon space. So, Erin, I love that so much. I set intentions into my water. That method of finding solutions is so simple and lovely. Ah, you're welcome. That was so cool. Alrighty, so let us have a look at our yummy card once it pops out. Here we go. What's our theme? Joyous! So this week, your focus is to be joyous in everything that you choose and experience. Find the joy in there. Find the silver linings. Find those moments of happiness and lightness. Even through the challenges, you'll be able to find something that is kind of a little bit more lighter and a little bit more fun. Okay, so joyous is our word. So let me just take a quick photo so that we've got that to refer to next week. Even if I don't bring it up, taking the photo seems to help lock that in my brain. So I don't know how that works, but it does. Here we go. Beautiful. Alrighty. So, Melinda, my beautiful love, could you please pop your question in the chat, as you have indeed paid for a extended reading. You've donated and paid. Thank you so much. Okie dokie. What immediately popped through, Melinda, was gifts come in all shapes and sizes. Interesting. Nope. Interesting. Oh, gosh. Golly gosh. I've finally booked my hire car for New Zealand today. Why am I saying golly gosh? It's because we've got the big deck. Apparently your team has some specific things to say. So yes, I wonder what gifts you're going to receive this week, and they may be unexpected. They may be not necessarily seen as a gift initially. Yes, Tony, I am excited to see you too. Have to make time on Thursday because I absolutely have to travel down to Taupo or Taupo, depending on who I'm talking to and how I'm talking, on Friday, as they have, my half-sister and her fiance have just released the news this week that, it sounds like a bulletin board, doesn't it? And tonight on Find You Fridays, Rita Hughes has just announced that she and Colin will indeed be doing the reception the day before the wedding. So, no, not till I fly in on the 23rd. So it'll be the 24th, Thursday, the 24th of October. So it's a little ways yet. About a month, just under a month now. But yes, they're doing the reception the night before, which is a lovely thing to do, because it also helps people to meet each other before the wedding, and so good, so lovely. Yes, hiring cars, it's a funny old thing. You can, because of course they wish to keep a bond, which is fine. Have no problems with that. But some companies, can you even believe this, wish for you to have a bond of like over $2,000, where they hold that money for potentially up to 28 days. And then they'll just release it to you. It's like, that's bonkers in my world. So the company I ended up going for only have a $200 bond. So that's good. I saw your bracelets on your post, Tony. They're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I hope you get plenty of people choosing them. Oh, seriously, hiring a car is the only way to get around New Zealand. Living in a big city, you kind of take it for granted that public transport and stuff, but because I'm traveling Auckland to Hamilton to Taupo and then back up again, I really do need to have transport that I am able to work with, and getting out of Auckland is like high priority. I don't like staying in Auckland. Never have. Alrighty. Oh, your team is funny. All right. Oh, you're going to really enjoy this reading, I think, Melinda. So we've got the Princess of Autumn, which is cheerful, reliable, intelligent, and mischievous. Isn't she just such a gorgeous one? So this is the tabby cat. And it says, a wonderful opportunity related to your work or education, such as a promotion or scholarship, is coming your way. Seize this chance to learn something exciting or start a more rewarding and uplifting career. So I think this is a bit of a congratulations from your team, saying, well done on getting this new job. And it's the first step in many to doing something that's different and new and exciting for you. And we're just absolutely so proud of you, because, obviously they had a little hand to play in that. They've been telling you about it for a little while, but you were able to make that fully come to fruition. Because as much as we like to think that, we like to think that the universe has the say on everything, there's still a wonderful thing called free will. It's a wonderful thing in that we can have the universe working with us, or we can choose to work against the universe and against our spirit team. We can say on one hand, I really desire to have blah, 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 and then turn around and sabotage ourselves every single step of the way. So our team's sitting there going, oh my gosh, are you like, we're trying to help you here, Gil. What are you doing? The next card that you've got is the 10 of Summer, which is the prairie dog. Isn't that just too cute? Oh, and it says it's time to express your love and appreciation for family, be it relatives or your chosen family of close friends. Congratulations may be in order on a happy, fulfilling marriage, as well as raising a happy, balanced children. So I think that family stuff is going to be up for you, but also you're just going to have a big heart moments. And your team is like saying it's okay for you to express how much you really do appreciate those around you. And for those who are part of your team, the not acquaintances, but those you hold near and dear to your heart, and just shed some of your beautiful sparkles on them. I'm also hearing that there's some people in your chosen family that are requiring some of your love at the moment, that are feeling a little down, and that hearing from you and hearing your appreciation of them will absolutely make them feel just like, oh, thank you. I really needed to hear that today. So there's that. We have the Prince of Winter. Whoa, look at him. He's just going for it, isn't he? And that's the thoroughbred horse. So the thoroughbred horse says, get ready for progress to speed up. This situation requires you to choose logic and intellect over emotion and make your decisions quickly. So I'm getting this as a sense of work. So just be aware that you're going to have to be in your, your left brain for a bit, not so much in your creative right brain as much, just for the next little bit, just while you're learning all the new stuff and like all their procedures and things like that. Like, it's okay. And ask for the brain to capture that knowledge quickly and easily, like a thoroughbred horse. There is a clearing that I have around 300 words a minute. And so, yeah, message me about that one and I'll pass it on to you. I can't talk about it here. But yeah, message me about that one. All right. We've got the 4 of Winter. Gosh, we're getting all the seasons almost. Hang on. Nope, not quite. We're missing the spring. We've got the 4 of Winter, which is the koala. Look at that cute little koala just snoozing. And it says, thoroughly think things through before making a decision. Continuing to overanalyze isn't going to get you any closer to a resolution, but meditation and prayer will bring you the answers you seek. So, overanalyzing. Who is this about? What is this about? Okay, this is the volunteer stuff. Don't overanalyze that. Don't overthink it. Just allow it to flow through as it's meant to. If you're worried about it, if you're concerned about what people are thinking and all that sort of stuff, just let it go. So yeah, they're just saying it's okay. You've done your heart time there. You've done well. It's all good. Don't stress yourself up out of nothing. You're not letting anybody down. That's the message that's coming through really loud and clear, is you're not letting anybody down by going and choosing this other job. Okay? You gave it 100% of what you had available at the time. All right. The next one we've got is the King of Winter. So you've had the Prince of Winter and the Princess of Autumn, but now we've got the King. So as you know, that means mastery, okay? And that's intelligent, inspired, respected, and unemotional. So the humpback whale, at this time, it's very important that you communicate clearly, be objective and unemotional, and act as professionally as possible. If you need advice, seek the most experienced expert you can find. Okay. So yeah, this is just a little bit of a nudge from your team, just saying, be professional. Don't burn your bridges. Don't be silly about it. It's, and even if they do an exit interview or something like that, just be professional and don't go emotional. So that's the other thing. The koala card of over analyzing. And there was something using the logic, so the thoroughbred horse. So quite clearly there's the thoroughbred horse is a couple of messages there. It's for learning of the new job, but also just be in your logic and your intellect. Be unemotional, which is what the whale card is about. Be unemotional about so you've got the mastery of your emotions, right? And just don't let it be about the troubles or anything that you had with that job. It's like you did an amazing contribution for that period of time that you were with them, 2 years, and now it's time for you to move on. You found something that's going to challenge you in a different way. And like talk about if you want to do a little bit of that more softer approach, you can say, I'm so grateful for the things that I have learned or re-established in my world, or that sort of thing. Funnily enough, the last card that you've got is life experience, which is the cuckoo card. And it says important changes are coming into your life that will require you to take action. No shit, Sherlock. Don't hesitate to move in new directions that you know are right for you. So there we go. That's massive, massive confirmation that you are absolutely making the most perfect, wonderful choice for you moving forward. And it's the next stepping stone to to your career, your working career. We've got some interesting things moving and shifting and changing around. You're clearing out a lot of the old clag. I'm getting that the energy of your new work is actually going to really help you feel like shift some of that old funky energy that you've been carrying for the last few months. And because it's that funny thing of when we're surrounded by people, either co-workers or clients that are not necessarily seeing the more positive, more upbeat sides of life, it can drain your energy somewhat. And it can become harder and harder to just get up, get working, get, to get yourself into that bright, sparkly space so that you can be the greatest contribution that you can. So I get this new place that you're going to be going to is going to be having a lot more forward moving energy with it, and it's going to make you feel a lot better, even though you'll be tired, given what it is. There'll be moments where it's been like, oh, you get to the end of the day and go, fuck, I'm exhausted. But it'll be a good exhausted, if you know what I mean. It's like that moment of going, I did something really fun today. And I helped heaps of people today. And, I didn't get yelled at today. That's one of the gifts of having been doing what you have been doing, is that you'll have that lovely juxtaposition. Oh, that's a big word for today. Of how the people will treat you. And because you'll be so bright and bubbly and shiny for them, they'll just love you to bits anyway. Yeah, being yelled at, it's demoralizing, truly, because it's like, it was one of the reasons why I had to stop being a nanny. was I ended up having a lot of neurospicy kids. And, when they're pinging, it's very, very challenging. And, yeah. And also the workplace that I was working for was not so very supportive either. They were very, they would yell at us through, like, the whole team. And they would yell at us through emails and stuff like that. And it was like, even though it's in the written word, it is something that has made me go, I never, ever wish to be like that as a supervisor or a person in a leadership role. Like, that is horrendous behavior from management when they do that sort of stuff. When they write emails and it's all in capital letters and bolded and highlighted and red and stuff like that. It's like, oh, you may as well just be standing right in front of me and just giving me a massive earful, because that's how it feels. Your yummy card is community. So by all accounts, it looks like you're going to find yourself a whole new community and a whole new fun way of approaching the end of this year. And it's going to be just a lot of fun for you. I get the sense. Melinda, yeah, getting yelled at sucks. Helping people choose items for camping trips, fishing trips, etc. should be very interesting. I'm so looking forward to it. Thank you for all that wonderful info. My team as well, very grateful to you. Hugs! Mwah! Hugs to you too. Yes, it's very, very positive. And just with your resignation, just keep it professional. Don't judge. Don't pass on any judgment of even just doing, like, saying, oh, I used to get, I'm just so tired of being yelled at every day. You can spin that to say, I'm really grateful for the various challenging clients that came through, or customers, I think that's what you guys call them, customers that came through, because they taught me how to manage my emotions to a greater degree, even in adverse situations. So it's like, you're being professional, you're explaining how you have grown, shifted, changed and developed from that situation, and they walk away feeling like, oh, we did something good. And that also means that they are more likely to give you really great references moving forward. The reality is that people yelling at you all the time hurt your heart. That's the reality. And I think they know that too. But some people are just a little bit more aware and sensitive to that than others. Judy, there's a lot of bullying in the workforce. There can be. I am so grateful. I work for a company now who doesn't do that. Like, my direct manager, we actually had a conversation about this just in the last few weeks of, as I step into a more leadership role, I said to him, that thing of, like, sending out group emails when, say, one or two people have been making errors, and sending out a group email that's yelling in capital letters and all the rest of it, like, that is not something that I will be doing. If there is something that needs to be changed or monitored or whatever, I will be talking to that person directly. Or you, like, you can talk to them directly if it's not appropriate for me to do so. I don't like doing that whole blanket statement for everybody if it doesn't need to be. It's very frustrating and it's demoralizing to have that. And often the people who are making the boo-boos are oblivious that they're doing it. It's only the ones that are not that get a fit of the guilt and feel shit. It's like, it's just not cool. Oh, Tony, thank you. Yeah, they should know better, but do you know what? There's this little bit of a saying that goes around our workplace sometimes of, don't you come round here making sense. Christine, can you please break down your question a little bit, because I'm a little confused. But in the meantime, while Christine works on that, Tony, my sweet, could you please pop your question in the chat, please? And thank you for your donation. And Melinda, before I forget, thank you for your donation. Thank you for helping to keep the show running and, you know, helping me to pay the background costs that it does have to run the show and all that sort of thing. It's an interesting thing, and they've just put the prices up. I'm like, oh yay. And we're going to give you this much extra stuff. And I'm like, yay. But the price has gone up an extra, like, I think it's almost $10 a month to this new pricing structure. And I'm like, oh, okay. So thank you, Belinda, for helping me to keep the show running. I am drinking my Perry salted caramel latte tonight from Shebangs. It's very yummy. It's very nice. I normally drink my Perry lattes after the show, but today my body was like, nah, I just kind of want to get off the show and then just kind of go to bed. So that's why we're drinking it now, apparently. All right. So Tony. I would like to know from you all, this is going to be a bit of a slight deviation, but sort of not. What is your most, and this is for everybody, what is your most admired aspect of a leader that you have had, a person in leadership? It can be anybody, a family member, work colleague, friend, whatever, that you have experienced, and why did it hit your heart so well? Like, why did that work so well for you? I would really love to know that. And this is about sharing the information so that I can also learn some stuff from you guys. I know for me, like, there's that email thing. I know that doesn't work for me. It's just that creates resentment, and I'm not interested in creating resentment with my team. And there's lots of things around working that, I mean, I've been in so many jobs. Like, my resume is so bloody long these days that I have to chop bits off the bottom. In fact, I don't even talk about anything before I moved, pretty much anything since I moved to Australia, because most people are not going to read it anyway, except for maybe a couple of the highlight things, qualifications and things like that. But mostly they want to know only the last little bit. And I'm curious to know what attributes or aspects of leaders, really good leaders or people in leadership roles for you, have had that has made you go, God, that really worked for me, or worked for the team, or whatever. One of the things that I know that has been really, really helpful for me growing up and going through different jobs and is when I had managers or supervisors that were willing to get their hands dirty too. That was something that I really respected. I didn't have a lot of respect when I was younger for those sorts of managers who were just like, oh no, that's beneath me. Like, I've done my yards, I've done my hard yards. And I see it now even in some of the work that we do, where there is a couple of different levels of authority. So houses that we clean, and for an organization where there are really high up people that vacate the houses, and then there are the more, I guess, the grunt type people that have the houses and rent them or live in them. And the higher up ones, the higher up in the leadership, they leave the houses the messiest, most wrecked houses, whereas the grunts don't. And I'm like, what is going on psychologically there? Why are the people who are the higher ups not leaving things in a clean and tidy manner? Like, it shouldn't matter your qualifications. It shouldn't matter your experience. It's like, have pride in your home, no matter if you're renting or not renting. It doesn't fucking matter to me. I'm just like, have pride. But yeah, it is interesting. So, Melinda, I found having a team meeting once a week, so we all knew we were all up to on different tasks. If someone needed a bit more assistance in one area, the manager was really great. I enjoyed working with her, even though it was only for 8 weeks early last year. Communication. I completely agree. Communication for me is certainly high up, very, very high up in my list of priorities. It's important to me that people know, my team know, that they can talk to me, that they can come to me with their issues or questions, particularly the questions. And if it's something that I can't handle, then it's like, go talk to my manager, you know. But I do prefer communication to be very clear and even across all team. So staff meetings, fabulous. I'm highly on board with those. All right, Melinda and Tony. Tony, who are you going to play with? Ooh, you got the new cards. Let's see what Ina Segal has for you today. Tony, my first mentor really made it for me, really helped me, and now I have strengthened after each course. Reading is easy for me. And now my recent teacher is helping me, and yes, we would talk once a week and do homework, and she really helps us. Cool. Yeah, again, it's feeling supported and empowered to continue to move forward, isn't it? It's like, that's one of the things that I know from when I was first training with this company. You know, it was kind of a little bit sink or swim initially. Like, yes, I had my training time. I was with other people and they were doing the thing, but I was, I've learned a lot. And I'm grateful to have had so many different people to work with. So yeah, it's awesome. I feel grateful for that. For us, it's very difficult to get all of us together because we don't meet up at like head office or anything like that. We are remote, all of us, remote mobile workers, and we move around. We get our home base is home, and we just get dispatched our jobs, and then we go straight to the jobs from home. So getting us together is quite the monumental task. No excuse for not doing it, but it doesn't happen as often. That's an interesting thought. I wonder if we could use technology in that way. My immediate thought is to go to something like Facebook groups, of course, but that then opens up the thing of privacy. People might not want to be connected on Facebook. So I might actually talk to my manager about maybe doing a group chat with Telegram instead. Because Telegram's free, it's encrypted, it's only using your phone number. It's not like you get to see all the social media stuff. And it could be a really good way of, say, if there is an issue on site and we're just sort of wanting to, what did it say, crowdsource information. It's like, oh, I've got this client, what do you do? Or, hey, they said blah, blah, blah. They had you last time and you used a particular product. What was that product? Oh, I like it. So Telegram is, so you might have heard of WhatsApp. It's kind of like competition to that. Hi, Amanda. Hi, darling. Ooh, I'm looking forward to seeing what Tony's cards are. Judy, listening to my parents talk about how hard life was when they were growing up made me appreciate the life we have. How it doesn't cost anything to be kind to people, and there's always someone worse off than us. I love that for you, Judy. Sharing experiences is really important, I think. Yeah. So yes, I don't know how to use WhatsApp, and yet I have it. I don't like WhatsApp. When it got sold back, gosh, must have been 4 years ago now, instantly my number, for some very strange reason, ended up on all of these blinking call lists for scammers or telemarketers rather. And it was just crazy. Within 24 hours, I was just inundated with all of these calls. And I was like, what the hell? And so I was like, this has to be from the sale of WhatsApp. And so I deleted my account and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it was crazy. So I got rid of that. Judy, I had WhatsApp. It went to the shit, so I deleted it. Yeah. Telegram is amazing. It's so much better. Like I said, it's all encrypted. It's like you don't get all of that spammy shit off of it. It's very secure, and it was letting you leave like really long voice messages way before Facebook ever thought about it. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. So yes. All right. I'm going to read these cards as well, I think, just because they are new to me. So while I'm looking at these cards and going, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense, I'm curious to know what the write-ups will be of them. So Tony, your first card is 2. Whee. Okay. Practice positivity. Stop judging and start looking for the good. It's time to focus on everything in your life that is positive. Positivity adjusts your point of view and allows you to see every situation through the lens of optimism. Part of the challenge that this card represents is to encourage you to cease any judgment or harsh behaviors with others, and particularly with yourself. You are being asked to become vigilant not only with what you say, but also with every thought. Each positive thought has the power to heal and uplift, whilst negative thoughts can harm and drown you. While you will find that as you practice positivity, you will attract more positive thoughts, people, and opportunities. You will also start to enjoy your life more, opening up the possibility of activating your intuitive abilities and awakening your spiritual gifts. Over time, no matter the challenge, you will be able to experience life with equanimity and an open heart. So that's a pretty bloody clear message. I was getting that just from the card itself, but it's nice to read it as well. So your action, I'm going to read this to you, and the rest of them probably not the actions, but this one particularly. For the next month, start to become conscious of your words and your thoughts. Anytime you find yourself judging someone, give yourself the task of thinking of 3 positive things for every criticism. Whenever you walk down a busy street, watch passers-by and find at least one positive thing about each person. At the end of the day, write down at least 5 positive things that you have to be grateful for. And for a few minutes, concentrate on the warm feeling that this practice will awaken inside your heart. Yeah, it is. It's been very clear. Stop being a negative Nancy is essentially what they're telling you. And that can be about all sorts of things. When I was young, and I mean in my teenage years, is it Martin Luther King, who was imprisoned a lot? No. There was one of the, it was the African leader. His name has escaped my brain. But anyway, he was somebody who was in prison for a long time. He was a political leader, and I even did a full project and everything on him. And his story touched me in such a way because when he walked out of that prison, he did not judge or condemn. Thank you, Nelson Mandela. He did not judge or condemn anybody who had imprisoned him. None of the jailers, none of the people who did the thing. He didn't judge a single one of them. And I thought to myself, gosh, imagine that. You've been in prison for like more than 10 years for having a particular political view. So in our minds, like, that's ridiculous, right? How on earth could somebody be so calm and peaceful and loving after being jailed for that long and still come out the other side in that same calm, peaceful way? It's like, holy crap, what an inspiration, right? So that sort of started triggering in my brain. How can I be more like that in my life? How can I be more like Nelson Mandela in my life? Hi, Paul. Lovely to see you. Having rain. Oh, you can't be planting your tulips in the rain. I went and planted or started some seeds, some chili seeds today. I don't have a hell of a lot of like I don't do veggies as such anymore, but chili every now and then I like a bit of chili. So chili and meat still goes together as far as I'm concerned. But I do like growing my flowers. They're nice. All right, Tony, back to your reading. Thank you for waiting. We have Step into the Unknown. Okay, so it says it's time for you to trust your inner calling. This could relate to starting a new business, a family, or doing a course of study that you have been putting off for years. You may feel like you are ready to move to another city or country, or simply to travel to a particular place. Whether it is the possibility of a romantic relationship, a new type of friendship, or an innovative venture, there are higher forces propelling you forward. The opportunities being presented to you are a part of your growth and are connected to you fulfilling an important aspect of your life purpose. Be attentive to the small details because your real transformation might come in surprising ways from unexpected sources. Be flexible about doing new things in a new way with an open mind. While discernment is necessary, look for signs that show you that you are on the right track. Trust that you are being guided. So yes, Tony, this is very much, it's a pretty obvious one. When it comes to what you're creating and your beautiful bracelets and the other things that you're looking at creating in your studies and things like that, keep going, keep doing them, because it's like, that's your intuition being nourished and nurtured, and when you get those specific orders coming through, it's like that's going to really tickle your brain and your heart and your being in a way that is like just going to give you so much growth and expansion and make your heart feel good. So keep going, keep trusting your intuition. And it's okay to feel uncomfortable when you're doing things that you're not so comfortable doing or have not done before. That's totally okay. Oh, Paul, that's lovely. Air Supply, he's going to go see Air Supply tomorrow. So for my people over in Facebook land, you can't see his comments. So Air Supply tomorrow night. Can't wait. Lost in Love. You're every woman in the world to me. I love it too. Oh, dear. Just keep going with the bracelets, love. I think you might find that you'll discover some different, interesting ways of selling them. One of the things about your bracelets post was where was the call to action? Okay, this is something that people who are entrepreneurs and things like that will always talk about. It's the call to action. Where can they go to get these bracelets? How can they contact you? Even if it's pretty obvious to you, like just PM me, just send me a message or put a comment under the post. Say, if you are interested, PM me. Or if you have an email that you are wanting to access, like have them access, put that in the post at the bottom, and they can, if you're interested, let me and want to know how much it costs or something like that. It's like, give them a call to action, give them a place to direct the energies to. Otherwise it's just like, oh, that's a really lovely post, and there's nothing else on the end of it. All right, the next card that we've got is 36, which is you have support. There's a lot of free ways you can organize to get your product sold. So like I said, you can just do it privately. There's a company that I get CBD oil for the dog, and they make it specifically for animals. And because of the product that it is and the fact that it's coming to different states in Australia, they have to be a little bit mindful of how they receive payments and things like that. So it's done a little bit more privately. They have a website and stuff that you can access to see the information and stuff. But, it's done by direct deposit or something like that. I know that they are currently updating how their website works, but it was just like you sent an email and then they sent you the bank details and then you paid the money and then they sent you the product and they would put tracking numbers and all that sort of stuff. So it's it can be done quite easily that way. All right, so you have support. All right. You are receiving more help from the heavenly hosts than you can imagine. So your team is very, very, very much supporting you right now. Your role is to assist the higher beings to help you by consciously participating in your own inner development. From the moment that you wake up till the time you enter sleep, you are either strengthening your ability to receive assistance and regeneration from the higher beings or weaken it. The way to allow more enlivening support to enter into your life is to start the day with a powerful meditative practice which connects you to your spirit. Focus on seeing the beauty around you and offer help to those who are open to it. Consume organic food and drink. Listen to your inner cycles and make decisions that honor them. Spending time away from technology. Whenever you can, go into nature and meditate on the spiritual wisdom concealed in it. Be kind to yourself. Listen to the music that heals and calms your soul. Start learning about the laws of karma and the higher worlds. Give yourself time for any type of artistic or creative endeavors as you start to live more in harmony with yourself, and you will find that support flows to you from every area. So I guess for you, with your meditations, as it says here, connecting to the higher beings is what they're asking you to do. And as I was reading that, and it was talking about the meditation and going into nature and stuff, I know that can be a bit tricky for you sometimes. So what I would like to share with you is from a Kiwi girl who lives in Australia. There is something very magical about the earth of New Zealand. It is deep and rich and very deeply feminine. And there is a gorgeous energy, a feeling to it. It's like, how do I put this? It's kind of like, if I was to relate it to food, it's kind of like a deep, rich chocolate cake, like a Black Forest chocolate cake. There are so many layers to it, but there is just this feeling of comfort and warmth and power. So much power. And it's much softer than other than Australia. And because our land, especially here in South Australia, is very arid, it's desert or it's clay, and it is a lot more acidic. It's whereas New Zealand has, I guess, more of an alkaline feel to it. And so the energy of South Australia can be a bit spiky sometimes, whereas New Zealand is just like, And I just invite you to, when you're meditating, to tap into the earth. Imagine that you're this big, beautiful tree that has those very, very deep roots, and they're going down into the earth and drawing that gorgeous, potent, powerful, healing energy all the way up through your body. And then, of course, you can reach out to the sky, to Father Sky, and you can actually start really allowing that energy to come into you as well. I think that will make a massive difference to the meditations that you're doing. Because sometimes we have a bit of a funny point of view that if we can't get out into nature, that we can't tap into the earth. And that's just not true. Energetically, we are not disconnected at any time. So it's part of the reason why I have my punamu with me all the time, because this is part of my physical connection to New Zealand energy. And it brings me a lot of calmness and soothing. And, if I'm feeling a little bit anxious or whatever, I touch it, and it's, I guess, a bit of a fidget thing for me, but it's soothing to me. So it's just play with that energy a little bit, okay? The next card that you have, your team is being very clear with you today. Become more objective. We love objectiveness. I've been an objective little bunny since I was a teenager, and used to make my other adults in my life feel very, very uncomfortable. So develop a compassionate attitude towards yourself and others. You are being challenged to step out of your subjective experience of what has been done to you and look at the situation objectively. If a person has acted in a hurtful, dishonorable way towards you, you have an opportunity to understand the real cause that has made them behave like this. Often this cause can be found in what they have expressed in their childhood, which would point towards the lessons that they have brought from other lives. This is a chance to develop compassion and see the situation differently. You are also being asked to objectively look at yourself and what role you have had in creating a challenging situation. If you can truly learn the lessons in this experience, you can move on to something different. If not, you will be stuck in a constant pattern of repeating the old. Okay? Quite clearly, the cards are being very, very clear with you. Your team is being very clear. They're saying to you to reflect on your old patterns that keep coming into your life, and where do you keep creating the same painful, hurtful experiences, and try to view them as if you were a therapist, or even better, a higher being. How can you change and do something different even though everything inside you wants to remain and act in the same old manner? Ask, what is the lesson? What new action do I need to employ to learn it? This could be to forgive the other. It could be to gently confront them, or even take some time out for self-healing. Oh, hi, Hayley. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've got one other before you, I think. I'll just double check. Yep. Looks like it. Cool. Christine won't take long. All right. Tony, your almost last card of the stack is stop breaking agreements. Goodness gracious. Go back one. Cool. Ah. All right. Cool. So I'll just pull this card here so you can have a look at it. Look at that. Oh, wow. Such a fascinating card. Okay, allow others to develop trust in you. How often do you say that you're going to do something to a colleague, a friend, a family member, or yourself and then do nothing? It could be as simple as saying that you're going to meet someone at 2 p.m. and then show up late without calling, texting, or taking responsibility. Every agreement you break attaches like an energetic link to the other agreements that you have broken in your life and all the other people who also don't care about breaking agreements. This massive chain weighs you down and sucks the life force out of you, whilst hooking you into the vibration of failure. Keeping your agreements helps others to trust you and feel safe around you, and offers you new opportunities. It's also a sign of great respect for yourself and others. Successful people don't break agreements, and if they do, they recognize this straight away, take responsibility, and make amends for the broken agreement by doing something extra. Okay? So, I am hearing and feeling that you understand what this is about. And sometimes it can be as simple as like you just don't have the capacity, the physical capacity to go and do something or meet someone, and that's okay. They're not saying that you can't pay attention to that. It's more about make sure that you're honoring the other person and let them know what's going on, communicate. And maybe offer a suggestion of what you could do to make it up to them. Okay. So yeah, I get that. You know, Alex has chronic pain, and he has moments where he'll have those agreements that he's going to go see someone or whatever, and then he'll wake up the next day and he'll just go, I haven't got the capacity to go. I just don't. I can't fathom leaving the house. Like my anxiety is kicking up or whatever it is. Or he hasn't slept well, or, you know, there could be many, many reasons. But it's like he will message them. He'll apologize. He will, you know, say, look, let's do this next weekend because I'm just not feeling it this weekend. I'm so, so sorry. So the fact that we managed to get together was pretty fucking incredible. So there we go. Mystical healing cards for you, my love. Thank you for being the first first person off the ranks with the new cards. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They were pretty amazing. I'm liking them. I'm liking them. They feel a little softer. A little teeny tiny bit softer than the other ones. And your yummy card is understanding. So I think that goes along with the being objective. So they obviously just wish to really bring that home of having that, practice the positivity and being more objective, and just have a little more understanding of also how the choices that you make also have impact on others too, in both positive and negative ways. You know, every choice that we make has a potential outcome, either way. Okay. Thank you, Tony, for your very, very kind donation. You help keep the show running too, and I am so grateful for you. Thank you for being first one off the ranks with these cards. I'm curious to know who else they wish to play with today. If anybody, I let the cards choose, or your teams choose. It's not up to me. All righty. So Christine. Hi, Debbie. So happy to have you here. Christine. Now, you put your question up here, but it was a bit confusing. Okay. Here's the question so far. And for those of you who are on Facebook land, you can now understand why I'm going. I'm confused. I'm confused. So, Christine, can you please break that down for me? Because this sentence doesn't make sense to me. Okay. The tenants, will they continue to stay in the medical facility after last night's hurricane? Okay. That makes a little bit more sense. Okay, so is it this one? This one. Okay. Okie dokie. Oh, okay. Show me a yes. Thank you. Oh. It's hard holding my hand way up here. Okay. Okay, thank you. Please show me the yes. Thank you. Show me the no. Thank you. It helps if I don't touch it. So, Truth, will the tenants continue to stay at the medical facility after last night's hurricane? I'm getting a yes on that one. They are a little bit shaken up, understandably, if there's been a hurricane going through, but I am getting that they will stay at this stage. Unable to sleep last night. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that you're unable to sleep, Christine. That's really sucky. So, yeah, that made a lot more sense once you put that piece of information in there. So thank you. And I think you were asking, stay with the building that I am management after the roof repaired last year and able to withstand the storm last night. Okay. So I'm thinking you also want me to ask a question about whether the roof is okay. I don't understand what peri-patience into medicine means. Because to know what that means so that I can word my question. So it's working on awareness rather than judgment, because that's really important. Okay, so Truth, is the roof on the medical facility safe and stable after the hurricane? That's a yes. They've done a good job. They've done a good job in repairing it. So according to the pendulum, the roof is okay. You're doing all right. And considering you've had those repairs done just recently, you should be good to go. Okay. Is that all good, Christine? Was there anything else that I've missed that you've asked? Good night, Tony. Thank you again for coming to play. And I look forward to seeing you next month. Aww. Paul. Olivia Newton-John's birthday was yesterday, which for us would have been the day before. Oh, no, you guys are in the same day as us, I think, now. She would have been 76 years old, gone too soon. My favorite singer. Aww. Well, happy birthday to Olivia Newton-John. She was a beautiful one. And who doesn't love Grease? But not only that, there was all the other work that she did, like of charity work and foundation type work and stuff like that. Like, she was somebody who really did use her fame and the platform that she had to really impact in a positive way on the world, and that's a beautiful thing. And I think that is something that will continue to have a great impact for many years to come. And what a legacy. What a legacy. Thank you, Christine. And thank you for your donation, your very kind donation. Find You Fridays, thanks you. Crafting Possibilities, thanks you. I thank you. Thank you for helping to keep the show going. I appreciate it very, very much. Very, very much. Okie dokie. Haley. Now, I saw your question. Here it is. How will things go between Amos and I? Will we be in a happy long-term relationship? Whoa! Gotta love reading. Oh, jeepers. All right. So I'm going to preface this reading by saying, Haley, that a relationship is only as good as the two people who are within it willing to communicate and have fabulous discussion skills or arguing skills. I'm not saying fisticuffs or anything like that. It's about respecting the fact that you are two individual people coming together, and you've both come from different upbringings. Even if they've been very similar, they're still different. And so you've had a mishmash of different belief systems often, or points of views that are coming together that you have to be able to work through in a honoring way. If you are unable to have a discussion with each other and either compromise or get to a point where you can reasonably agree to disagree and not hold it over the other person, then that's going to be tricky for you. There was actually a really beautiful video that I watched just this week, actually, around this. And it was on YouTube. So let me see if I can find that link and put it in the chat. I think it was in here. Oh, gosh. I don't like how Facebook is doing that thing where it's like not showing you everything. It is really, really bloody annoying. I don't think I shared it on my page, my personal page. Let me see if I can. If I did, then I'll share it up in here. If I didn't, okay, nope, I didn't share it on my page. Okay, but it is from a guy called Nick Freias, and it was around like the top 5 things about making sure you don't like marry the crazy one. And do you know what? It was incredibly profound. And there's so much of what he was saying there that is stuff that I've had to learn the hard way in relationships. Okay. Let me see if I can get that copy, and I'll put it into my chat with myself as a new thing because I'm awesome. All right, let me see if I can now grab that and put it into our chat over here. Okay, cool. Where there's a will, there's a way. So you're asking about relationship stuff. Here you go. Here's something that is really, really helpful. You don't have to necessarily agree with the last one, but it can be quite nice to have. You'll understand when you watch it. All right, so let's have a look at which cards wish to come out and play with you. Oh, hello. Which ones? This one? This one's. We've got Miss Doreen Virtue this time. A little bit of crazy is okay. But no, you don't want to marry the crazy one. Basically, a happy long-term relationship will be if you make it that way, if you create it that way. But, and I say but, one of the biggest things about relationships is they are going to be, your loved one will be the exact mirror to all the shit that you don't like about yourself. And if you're not willing to do the self-discovery and the objectiveness of dealing with your own crap, your relationship will be crap, because you won't be able to stand the fact that they are reflecting back to you the shittiest, worst parts of yourself. They can also reflect back to you the great parts of yourself too, and you will be doing the same to them. So just keep that in mind too. Like, as we move through our relationships, when something comes up and it's a bit crunchy, one of the things that I do is I go, what is this showing me about me right now? Why is this activating me in this way? what is it about this behavior, this action, whatever, that is irritating me so bloody much that I'm about to rip someone's head off about it. Doesn't happen too often to that extreme, but you know what I mean. And often we don't know how we're going to react to another person until we're actually living with them. But the cool thing is that you can learn a lot about each other if you don't move in too quickly, and you don't, all those sorts of things. But you sure do learn a lot about a person if you do move in quickly. I can tell you that much. So just keep that in mind too. There's a lot of really great sort of more holistic relationship type stuff that you can read that will really help you. 2 books I would highly recommend. One of them, because you're a new person here, that I speak of often, is called Attached. And the other one, and this might sound a little bit strange, but I'll grab both of them. Is that one and that one. So I highly, 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 highly recommend, because it will give you huge amounts of insights into yourself and how you function in relationships, is Attached. That's this book here. Okay. So it is by Amir Levine and Rachel S.F. Hallier. Okay. So you can pick this up on Audible. But I highly recommend getting it in the physical version. Okay. Because the physical version also has the questionnaire that is a lot easier to understand when you have it sitting in front of you. And this shows you what the ratio is between each of your attachment styles. So, for example, you can be secure, avoidant, or anxious, right? That's the 3 core ones that they talk about in this book. There's also, you can be anxious avoidant as well. But for me personally, I am about 75% secure and about 25% anxious. So if I am with somebody who is avoidant, it will set off my anxious side, and that will become the more dominating thing. And my behaviors, my reactions to things are way more accentuated. And it becomes like the predominating part in my life. Whereas when I'm with somebody who is not being avoidant, then my secure side comes out and everything's hunky-dory. And it's like, it's no worries, man. So yes, this book is very, very, very valuable. Okay. And it's like scientific, but it's done in a really palatable, easy to understand way. Amanda says, I do that now. Why am I so triggered by this? And now after a few relationships, I understand that it's because when I look deep in a round way, that's why I do too. Yeah, exactly. The other book, which might be a little bit more of a surprise to some of you who have been around for a little while, is actually this one. It's The 5 Love Languages. Now, this book has been around for years and years and years. But the 5 love languages, again, it has those lovely questionnaires, so you can understand where your love languages come from. You might sort of go, oh, yes, but I definitely am. Before I read this book and did the questionnaires, I honestly thought my main language of love was acts of service. Turns out it's not. My main love language is actually physical touch and words of affirmation. Those are the 2 top things in my world that make me feel calm, safe, secure, happy, fulfilled, like my cup is filling up, all that sort of thing. When I have not got people in my world who are fulfilling that side of me, then I feel really depressed, down, angry, resentful, cranky, tired. So yeah, the 5 love languages. It's only a skinny little book, but it's very potent. So I highly recommend getting both of those. Read them both. Both of you do it. Read it together, or at least get the other person to do the questionnaire with you. And see, like the attached book, you can actually do it in relation to them. They don't have to do it themselves, but it would be really handy for them to do it too, and so that then they can understand where you're at. Okay. There we go. Practical shit. That is why I say it's, intuitive messages and other special goodies, because I don't just rely on the cards or the crystals or that sort of thing. There's a lot of elements to this beautiful program. So, team truth, what would you like us to know about or be aware of with the relationship with Amos and Hayley, please? Yes, Amanda, exactly. You've got to know how great you are. It's like at work when I've done something and I'm working on a team, and I'll go up to the supervisor and I'll say, so could you please come and check my work for me, because my anxious little heart would thank you greatly for doing so. Oh dear. Everybody send Buddy some love. Send Buddy some love. Send him some pictures of him going into his bed, into his little tubey bed thing, his little donut, any one of them. He's got 3 to choose from. Send him into his little donut to be calm and sleep, chill out and relax. And be quiet. That would be lovely. Thank you, everybody, for doing that for us so that we can continue on with the show. Otherwise, it's very difficult for me to do the meditation with him howling. Oh, gosh. Hayley. So, immediately I'm getting my creativity type bars popping up. So that's an energetic healing thing that I do. You guys, what I'm getting with that is that you guys are going to be challenging each other, but in a really good way, to be creative and to creatively work through your issues together. Okay. So let's have a look. Cards wise. Yeah. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, that's the dog. All right. 3rd eye chakra. So it's safe for you to see the energy of love in all of its forms, such as angels, auras, and visions. So what I'm getting with this card is that the love aspect. Approach your life with your beautiful man from that space of unconditional love. And when things come up, when crunchy things come up, if you continue to have that as your highest priority of looking at each other with love and respect and honoring and trust, that, and as long as both of you are doing that, you'll be able to find creative solutions to anything and everything that comes up. If you don't function with each other with love and honoring and respect and trust and vulnerability and allowance, then that's going to be a real tough ask. If you have a lot of trauma from previous relationships, if either of you do, and you haven't looked at that and haven't healed it and haven't released it and haven't forgiven the other people for that trauma, then that's going to keep being a theme for you two both. And it's going to keep putting little, spanners in the works, and it's going to make it harder for you. So as stuff comes up, look for the love. Look for the love first. The next card that you got is to vacuum away fear. So it says here to call upon Archangels Michael and Raphael to lift fear-based energy from you and your surroundings, the situation, and everyone involved. Okay, that's pretty bloody clear. So become aware of where you feel fearful. So the fear is something that is your ego. It's trying to keep you safe. But at the same time, the ego struggles to see beyond previous experiences, to know that it's actually okay to not necessarily have that fear-based platform to work from. And in fact, the familiarity of being in fear is very strong. So if you're consistently, like, I can give you an example of how I am living here. So Alex owns this house, and it's been a long time since I've been with a partner who owns their house. And so I went for many years of renting where it was like I was worried 24/7 that I was going to have to receive, and it was a background worry. It was like it was just sitting back there somewhere, because I had a couple of experiences with the landlords choosing to move into the house without letting me know that that was their future intention. And it came as quite a shock. The first one was after 1.5 years, and the second one was after 6 months. And they were right after each other. And that was just so jarring. And so there was this fear-based platform that I was working from that was consistently there, that was like, oh my God, what's the landlord gonna choose next? And even in the house that I was in before moving up here with Alex, that landlord had owned the property for over 20 years and all of a sudden decided to sell because the property market is good. And he wanted to sell up, make the hay while the sun shone. And so again, I was in that fear-based response. So it took me probably a good 2 months to acknowledge the fact that I had this like consistent fear that was running in the back of my head about being kicked out of a house and not of my own making. And so I came in here and it was like, right, we've got to tidy this up. We've got to do this. We've got to do that, because what happens if we have a mosquito? Oh, I got it too, but then I didn't. Hopefully that's enough for it to go away from here. That would be good. It went into the little gap. I should have gone. Hopefully that gave it enough of a fright. Anyway, so be aware, become consciously aware of your fears, where they've come from, and do some inner child work of actually going back and talking with that part of yourself where that fear has come from. Okay? Earth Angel. I always think of that when I see this card. Is it the song that was in Back to the Future? And it was like when they were at the dance. That's what the song, I don't know what it is. Anyway, doesn't matter. So you are a light worker who has come to Earth to teach about love. So in relation to the question of how you and Amos are going to work together, you're teaching each other about love every single day. So keep that in the forefront of your mind, because that's your guys' purpose together. Okay. Oh, we gotta love these ones. The past life issues. The situation has a basis in one of your previous lifetimes. Ask your angels to help you remember, release, learn, and heal from your past experiences. So past life stuff is coming up a lot in this lifetime to be healed. I get that it has come up in many other lifetimes, but this one in particular is really bringing up a lot of that past life stuff. And the reason for that is because as a collective, we are moving out of 3D and being pushed and gently nudged and happily flowing towards the 5D. And to do that, we have to clear away some of the clag. So whatever has happened with you two in a past life, now it doesn't necessarily mean that you were husband and wife. It could have been you were mother and son. It could be father and daughter. It could be any combination, that there has been a past life, or maybe even multiple past lives, which I actually get is true, that you two have been together. And there's been some little quirky things in there that has not been quite healed or released. So if something crops up between you and it seems to have a really weird, like you sort of sit back and you think objectively about it after you just sort of give yourself a bit of space and you go, where the fuck did that come from? I don't understand why that particular thing has bothered me so much. What is it about that? And when you stop and ask the question, so truth, is this something to do with a past life? And you might find, yes, that feels light, it feels true. And you're like, okay, well, if I had that now, how would I resolve that? And sometimes it can be as simple as doing like the Ho'oponopono technique of I love you and I'm sorry and please forgive me and thank you. So it's like you can do that, and you can do that in any order. A great book for learning about Ho'oponopono is actually called Zero Limits by Joe Vitale. So I got all the book recommendations today. So that's a really good one. That's a nice one to listen to on Audible if you're interested in Audible. Solar plexus. It is safe for you to be powerful and take charge of your life in positive ways. So what I'm seeing with this one is do not lose yourself. That mosquito is back. No, missed it. Sorry, mosquitoes. Sorry for those of you who feel sorry for the mosquito. I'm not so sorry for the mosquito. All right. So when women and men get into relationships, sometimes, and I'm not saying that you will, but sometimes us women get this funky switch that goes off in our heads that goes, oh, now everything has to become about them. No, it does not. It is equal responsibility on both parts to make sure each other's well-being is of the top priority. It is Amos's responsibility to make sure your well-being is of top priority, and it's your responsibility to make sure his well-being is of top priority for you. So there is no imbalance there. And what happens is, if you can continue to do that, it's not about being 50-50, okay? This is about being that person for each other, where it's like Brene Brown brought up a really beautiful tool or technique that she and her husband use of when they get home at the end of the day, like they'll talk to each other and say, so where are you at? on a scale of, 100% is like I've got 100% to give, or it's like I've only got 50% or 20%. It's like my day's been really, really hard. I'm incredibly tired. I've only got about 20% to give tonight. And so the other person goes, okay, cool. Well, I'll pick up the extra 80% tonight. And then you might find the next day it flips around the other way. But it's those levels of communication and making sure that you're both on the same page. Because if the person who's, say, at 80% is expecting the other person to give 80% and they've just not fucking got it, well, then you're going to get resentment building up. So the best way to have a happy long-term relationship is to realize that you're not always going to be happy. That a long-term relationship is going to have ups and downs. It's going to have crunchy moments. It's also going to have awesome moments. As I say, it's the good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome. Okay? So just having those levels of compassion with each other and comprehension that it is both of your responsibility, and to know what each other's values are really, really helps. So watch that video from Nick Frias, and that'll really help you as well. Okay. All right. So there's going to be some interesting stuff coming up for you guys, but all in all, it looks pretty bloody good, to be honest. Let me just do one little check because I'm curious. Yes. And nope. Thank you. So truth, will Hayley and Amos have a long, healthy, respectful relationship? Yeah. The pendulum says yes. But notice I changed the wording. Healthy, respectful relationship. Okay? Happiness is a byproduct of health and respect. Okay? Alrighty. Joyous is your card. So there we go. So yes, joyous is the theme of your relationship. Keep going. You're doing incredibly well. Just try not to do too much of like the rose-tinted glasses thing. Be honest with yourselves and be honest with each other, and don't shy away from discussing stuff, even the hard stuff. It's better to talk about it when it's little so it doesn't grow into something big and untangible. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for your donation. Thank you for coming to play. It's so lovely to have you here, Hayley. And I wish you all the best for a long, healthy, well-maintained, respectful, honoring, trust-filled relationship with Amos. All right. Oh, dear, excuse me. Okie dokie. Amanda, we finally got to you. Yay. All right. So, Amanda, please pop your question in the chat. You've been waiting so long, and I appreciate it very, very much. So if you pop your little question in the chat there, then we can have a look at it. And you're very welcome, Hayley. At the end of the day, one of my greatest wishes is that wherever people are, they are seen, they are heard, they are honored and respected. and whatever gifts and talents that they have are used to their greatest, most beautiful, honoring potential. Because I have worked in many places where people are like the bosses, they start to see your potential to do XYZ. And then instead of honoring that, they use and abuse it. And we can do this exact same thing in relationship. It's like, for me, I have to be very mindful that because I am a very independent, strong, healthy woman, and I should just say person here, that when I'm in relationship with someone, that I don't try to do everything. It's actually destructive to the relationship if I do everything. And for me, I have to remember, because I have a thing called hyper independence, and that is a trauma response from having to be very alert and aware of my parents and what they were going through with their divorce, and you know, then being raised by a solo mum. So that's a big part of the creation of my hyper independence. And in relationship, I have to be very aware of that capacity to be like that. Because even with very capable partners that I've had, there's been a few times where they've said to me, Lorene, I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to contribute to you in this relationship because you do everything for yourself. Everything. And then I'd find myself getting angry and frustrated because I'm like, well, can't you see that blah, blah, blah needs to be done? Like, why should I have to tell you or ask you to do those things? Can't you see it for yourself? You know? So it's like, there is probably, to be quite honest, out of all the relationships that I've had, and there's been a few because I'm a perpetual relationshipist. I love being in relationships. I learn a lot in relationships. I grow and shift and change and develop a lot. But one of the probably the ones where I didn't need to say so much and ask so much was somebody who's also hyper independent. And that can be to our detriment. So yeah, it's good because we're still friends to this day, but it's just, yeah, it was just some other circumstances that meant that we couldn't stay together as partners. But we respect and appreciate that elements and aspects of the other person that we resonate with highly. So being soft and gentle and allowing other people to contribute to you is it's a beautiful thing. It really truly is. And for me, being willing to ask other people to do things, even if it's my partner, is a good thing to learn to do. And just standing back and letting them do stuff, even if it's not to your standard. Because when I'm in my hyper independence, my perfectionism comes out too. And again, that's a coping mechanism from childhood trauma. Interesting question, Amanda. Interesting question. What do you feel? What is your awareness of that? I would say so. So let me. Oh, no. I was going to ask those ones, but no, it's the new ones that wish to come out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the question of the cards. So I'm glad you've comprehended that it will give you a higher understanding of self. So what question I'm going to ask the cards based on what you've asked me is truth. What do you require to be aware of in relation to your next 3 months? That takes you through to Christmas. Okay. So truth, what does Amanda require to be aware of over the next 3 months so she can gain a higher comprehension of herself? There we go. Oh, Amanda. You're going to be making some really interesting connections over the next few months. And they are definitely going to shift your perspective. They're also going to bring you to some interesting emotional depths. This is what I'm just picking up physically. So from that empathic point of view, there's definitely some big shifts that you're going to make mentally and emotionally over these next 3 months that are going to change your view of the world. And these connections are going to blow your mind, absolutely blow your mind in a really, really good way. I'm getting a lot of positivity from it. It's just, you're going to finish up the year feeling very different to how you were at the start of the year. I know you get that sense already, but this next 3 months to the end of the year is just going to go. So let us have a look. Oh, I've got goosebumps. Woo. Oh, gosh. I find it really fascinating, even now. We're in our 3rd year of doing this podcast, right? 3rd year of doing these readings pretty much every week. And stuff like this comes through before I've even flipped the cards over. And everything that I've just said is now reflected in the cards. And there's that moment of going, huh. I do know what the fuck I'm talking about. But let's look at some more depth, shall we? We have awaken your vulnerability. So allow others to meet your unprotected heart. To be vulnerable with your feelings requires profound courage and a decision to break the hard shell of protection that keeps you separated, isolated, and afraid of others. Vulnerability connects you to the most hidden aspects of your soul. In this exploration, you have the possibility of discovering your most intimate, delicate, creative, surprising aspects. This may require you to develop more understanding and compassion for yourself and your life's journey, whilst at the same time moving past the pain of rejection or abuse you may have experienced, which caused you to shut down. Whilst it's important to keep certain people at a distance, there are others who are already in or about to come into your life. These people can hold space for you to step into soft, honest, gentle exploration of your heart melody. If you refuse and keep suppressing your feelings, you will become exhausted, numb, frustrated, and cold. It's time to warm your heart and start to be more in touch with what is happening inside your body. What pain are you holding in your heart, lungs, throat, kidneys in particular? Okay, so that's the first one. We have your team itching my head. All right. Access clear thinking. Develop objective thinking about your situation and find the best solution. See, you're going to have to be creative. That's why the creativity bars were coming up. To think deeply about something, you have to develop your powers of concentration and allow yourself the time to connect all the pieces of your inner puzzle together. Profound thinking requires you to ask important questions such as, how much time and energy do I have available during the day? And am I using my time in the most constructive ways possible? What is the most important thing to focus on today? You are being presented with some important decisions. This card asks you not to jump to conclusions based on your emotions. Instead, take the time to look at all the options and points of views available. Through this type of thinking, you will activate your highest intuitive faculties and will discover a new way to do things, a way you may not yet thought of. You are also being called to divide your thinking between everyday affairs as well as higher spiritual truths, which require you to expand your thinking into multidimensional thinking. Okay? Excuse me. Mental note, drink tea during the show. Yes, you are about to prove yourself wrong. And this next one will be telling you how to do that. Release fear. Oh, there we go. Start viewing life from the perspective of faith. You are only seeing one tiny aspect of the picture, and this is keeping you stuck in a situation you don't want to be in. Stop worrying and stressing. Things will only change when you start to take responsibility for creating your own reality. You need to come back into the present moment and breathe slowly and deeply. You have an opportunity to either create tranquility in your life or feed the fear. Only you can make that call. The focus on what you actually wish to experience will bring magic into your life. Don't worry about how it will appear. Just open yourself to receive. And again, that's also about your vulnerability. If you're open to receive, you're open to be vulnerable, because then you're willing to receive in all sorts of different ways. Okay? The first step was the fear of handing in my notice of resignation. I feel it so much, yet it was beautiful. I am so, so happy for you. That is so cool. So as we move through the 3 months, you're going to experience rebirth. So remember, mind-blowing. Here you go. You are embarking on a time of great inner transformation. The next few months offer an opportunity for you to review your life in detail. You will need to delve deeper than ever before into your inner world. You are being asked to choose a new path that takes you into consideration your sensitivity. This path is slower and requires the true inner growth that your soul is yearning for. Don't be surprised if many old notions that you have created for yourself based on how your family has perceived you discharge from your life. If you resist, the process will become more painful. If you embrace it and are willing to be entirely honest, then you will awaken determination and faculties within yourself that you never knew existed. This card does not signal outer success and being accepted by others. It speaks of developing an inner practice of self-acceptance and understanding your life's plan. And finally, listen to your guardian angel. Okay. So you are being guided in a new direction. You are never alone. Your guardian angel is always there for you, protecting you from harm and guiding you by creating images within your soul. Your angel knows the best path for you to follow and is trying to guide you in a new direction. This path might be different to what you envisaged, but if you are willing to trust, you will be gifted access to a diverse world of possibilities, which will lead you towards the most beneficial experiences for you and others. Your guardian angel is trying to help you to become more kind to yourself and others. It asks you to spend more time in meditation and prayer, focusing on understanding more about your higher nature, in particular, what is eternal and truly meaningful for you and the world as opposed to what is transient. So there we go. It is time to listen to your team, not just that, obviously, that one guardian angel, but that's the way Ina talks about it. I talk about your spirit team and also your higher self. Your higher self knows exactly where you've got to go. And that's why I was asking you right at the beginning of this, what's your awareness? An answer to your question. And you said, yes, it is. And you're 100% correct. And the cards also reflect that. So I thank you for an absolutely beautiful reading. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. And thank you for your donation, because you two are helping to keep the show running. Heart. You just got to keep tapping into your heart, love. Every time or any time fear comes up, come back to your heart space and just see what is the truth in your heart. Okay? I get the sense that there will be some crunchy moments between you and your beautiful partner. And that's okay. All that relationship stuff I was saying before, that's relevant for you too. Talk it out. Be okay with getting angry a little bit, because sometimes we need to have those healthy ways of expressing our anger or our frustration or whatever it is. We're friends on Facebook. Please have a look at that podcast that I shared this week. It is really that podcast episode, because it will highlight a lot of stuff for you that you'll be able to go, oh, that, all right, I can tuck that away in my brain for those moments where, you know, things are getting crunchy and we haven't found the right camping spot and things, we're both tired and you know, losing our patience with each other. So stuff's going to come up. Have those discussions of how we're going to manage that, how we're going to work through that. What do you think we could do? What, you know, it's like, what's those safe words that we can use that will help us to go, okay, we just need to walk away from each other for a little bit and then come back. And then we can have a calm discussion. Have a cup of tea. Let's go have a cup of tea. That's what I used to do. You know, if I was in a moment where I just couldn't fathom it, like I definitely wouldn't be going to alcohol because that's just really bad. But like that doesn't help you think clearly. But certainly sitting down and just quietly having a cup of tea or a coffee really, really does help. So yeah. We had to put on these seat covers today. It was chunky for sure, but we moved past it. Oh, seat covers are the worst, aren't they? Oh dear. I dread any time that I have to take the seat covers off my car because I've got, you know, all the electronics and stuff that sit underneath my driver's side, but then I've got this like tray that sits on the passenger's side of the front seat, and oh god, it's such a hard job trying to get in and around and underneath that. So yes, well done for getting that done. And it's interesting because I'm watching, there's a couple of different YouTube channels that I'm watching currently. They're both couples that are in their mid-ish 20s, and the way that one of them is in Canada and the other one's in the UK, and the way they speak to each other is with so much kindness and trust and joyousness and celebrating when each of them does something amazing or like is successful, not even amazing, but just successful in whatever they're doing, you know, like the Canadian one, they were having to dismantle a lot of the house before they could rebuild it, and they were cutting through floor joists and ceiling joists and things like that and dismantling it, and then they'd have to smash it out, and she'd be like, go Nikki, go Nikki, go Nikki, and I'm like, my little heart is just going, yay. You know, I love how they interact with each other, and I'm like, we could definitely learn more from that generation around just celebrating each other with total unabandonment, you know. It's like, yeah, let's be so freaking, let's be each other's cheer team, because it's like that makes everything so much better. Yeah. So you couldn't understand it, so you walked away, came back to look for my understanding rather than asking for his, because at this time of my life I understand that me and my partner understand the same things differently. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. You come from two very different points of views. It's like the way I was raised and the way Alex was raised is two very different things. He's a city kid and I'm a country kid. And as a result, and also just the way his brain works is completely different from mine. So like I can conceptualize things from, so if I go, what do you think? Because in my brain, I've already worked it out, measurements, how things going to look, how it's going to stack up, what it's like, things can fit here, there, or everywhere. And I go, what do you think about putting that there or that there and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I don't get it. I can't think of how that would look. I can't see it. We'll have to do it. And then I can say yes or no. And that's just one of the quirky things with him. He can't conceptualize stuff like that, whereas I can. And that's what made me, you know, that's part of the gifts of me, and also the fact that I was an architectural draftsperson. You know, that's just part of it all. Anyway, we're sitting at 2.5 hours. My throat's getting a bit dry. And while the beautiful pup's old man dog is quiet, we might just do a quick little expanding out, see if anything else pops through to our meditation, and then we'll be it for the night. So sit back, relax, and follow along with this guided meditation, and we'll see you on the other side. So have a little drink of water. Take a big deep breath in. Close your eyes. Take a big deep breath in all the way down to the bottom of your belly. And as you breathe out, just allowing the tension and the stress to release from your shoulders, out your fingertips, to release from your body, down your legs, through your feet. As you breathe in, bringing Mother Earth energy all the way up through your body. As you breathe out, bring Father Sky energy all the way down. Rebalancing the masculine and feminine energies in you. Bring Mother Earth energy all the way up. With the unconditional love from Mother Earth all the way up through your body. And as you breathe out, bringing Father Sky energy down, and the gratitude for everything and everyone. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome. Having gratitude for all of it will change your life dramatically. And now you're going to expanding out your awareness now. In a lovely big bubble, up into the sky and down into the earth. Expanding out your awareness. Greater than the country that you're in. Greater than the planet. Expanding out your awareness. Greater than the solar system. Greater than the universes. And out beyond wherever you've been before. Beautiful. And now focusing on your body once more. Do not contract your awareness down. And your allowance is your ability and your capacity to see things from more of that objective point of view. The greater your allowance, the easier it is to be objective. You go from being that tight, contracted little pebble at the bottom of a raging river of everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and functioning from those places of blame, shame, regret, and guilt, and blame, and judgment, feeling like everything is happening to you, feeling bashed and trashed around about by everybody else's thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And allows you, when you expand out your allowance, you become like a big fluffy cloud, observing that raging river and seeing it for exactly what it is. It is just energy. You do not need to be resisting and reacting to it. You have the choice to respond. You can either play with that energy, or you can choose to just float on by and let it do what it wants to do. Don't know about you, but I quite enjoy just floating on by. So the energy and the element of allowance, let's expand that out now in a big bubble up into the sky and down into the earth, expanding out your allowance. Greater than the home that you're in a big bubble, expanding out your allowance, greater than the country that you're in, greater than the planet, greater than the solar system, greater than the galaxies, greater than the universes, and now beyond your awareness. Take a big deep breath in. And as you breathe out, just take notice of how your different chakras are. Breathing in through the crown chakra. And as you breathe out, any energies that are no longer desired or required in your crown chakra begin to leave. Breathing in that beautiful unconditional love energy all the way through your third eye chakra. And as you breathe out, any energies, points of views, or belief systems that are preventing you from seeing the truth of a situation, they now leave. The energies of that are being fed into that lovely river, that raging river of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. It's just all of that is leaving your third eye, leaving your crown, and going into that river to be used as energy for something else. Breathing in through to your throat chakra. And as you breathe out, any energies requiring to leave your throat chakra that are preventing you from speaking your truth and speaking your heart and preventing you from speaking with kindness and compassion and unconditional love, they're all leaving you now. And now as you breathe in through your heart space, and as you breathe out any energies, points of views, or belief systems that are preventing you from seeing your heart, from feeling your heart, from knowing your heart intimately, they're all leaving you now. Whether these things have come through from this lifetime or any other lifetime, it doesn't matter. They're all leaving you now. Breathing in through your solar plexus chakra now. All those fears and emotions that have been locked into the upper parts of your belly, they're all leaving your body through your breath, going into that river to be used as energy towards something else. Breathing in now through your sacral chakra. And any thoughts, feelings, opinions, or belief systems that you have around relationships, creativity, connection, they're all leaving your system now. And now breathing in deeply, right down to your base chakra. And any thoughts, feelings, belief systems that you have about your connection to Mother Earth, to your own divinity, to your potency and power, they're all leaving you now. All those fears, they're all leaving your system now into your breath and down into that river, that raging river of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And with that, we're now going to take 3 more very deep breaths, coming all the way up from Mother Earth, all the way. Imagine this bright, white, opalescent light of unconditional love is swirling around your feet and now moving all the way up through your ankles, through your calves and your shins, through your knees, through your thighs, all the way up through your pelvis, through your belly. This unconditional love is moving all the way up through your back and your heart space, all the way up through your chest, through your shoulder blades, down your arms to your fingertips, up your throat and your neck, through your jaws, your gums, your teeth, your lips, your tongue, your nose, your eyes, your ears, your forehead, through your brain and your unconscious and conscious mind, all the way out through to the top of your scalp. And as this beautiful unconditional love from Mother Earth soothes and calms your body, any anxiety that is kicking off from the choices that you have made or the ones that you are thinking you will have to make is leaving your body now. So that you may make your choices from a space of confidence, of trust, of your own intuitive awareness of what's going to create the most for all concerned. And as you breathe out and bring that shimmering light, the sparkles of Father Sky, all the way over your body, sparkling down over your head, your face, your shoulders, bringing that element of gratitude for everything and everyone, including you, to every cell and molecule of your body, all the way down your shoulders to your fingertips, through your chest and your heart, all the way over your back, reminding you of how amazing you are and the strength that you have and the flexibility that you have and the dynamic being that you are. The sparkles are moving all the way over and through every single cell and molecule of your belly and your back and your hips, your entire pelvis, down your thighs, all the way down to your tippy toes. Your connection to Mother Earth and Father Sky is strong. And in doing so, your connection to your spirit team is also very strong right now. Please take one final big deep breath in, feeling how different your body feels. And as you breathe out, remembering that space of unconditional love and gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. When you're ready, open your eyes. Please, for self-care, have a drink of water now. You've just shifted a whole bunch of energy. It's a beautiful thing. I thank you again to everybody who has paid for a donated reading tonight. I appreciate every single one of you. Without you, this show couldn't keep running. And I am so, so grateful to you all. So until next week, until next time, get out there, do something tasty for yourself. I don't really care what it is, just make sure you do something for you. And we'll see you next week. Be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful friends. Bye-bye for now.